Welcome back, dweebs, to another fine episode of Small Press Express. This is a how-to video. I figured I haven't done one of these in a while. It's how to make underground comics. I notice a lot of the how-to videos on YouTube mostly focus on digital creation, and very few of them focus on traditional creation of comics. So this is how I do it as an working underground artist today. These are just some of the tools that I use. A lot of the stuff that I have lying around that is in my rotation I use a lot. This is how I do all my borders and lines. You got to have a ruler that's got the cork. It's beveled. You don't know if you can see it, but it stands above. So when you ink, it doesn't leak under the ruler and ruin your page. This is really important for inking. I use a lot of Uniposco markers for fine details. They're for like just doing the basic inking, and then I'll go in if I need finer details. I'll use a rapidograph pen. I use dip pens also. I use a brush and ink. I use brushes. I have a lot of these little calligraphy brushes. I get them from China. They're some of the best brushes. The hairs are insane. They hold a point so well. This is Black Cat India ink. I buy the big bottle and then pour it into this small bottle. And yeah, Black Cat. It's on dickblick.com. This is for, you gotta have lots of white out for corrections. I've been buying a bunch of it from the dollar store because I'm afraid it's gonna move out of existence. These are glue sticks. When I need to cut and paste, I mess up a panel, so then I have to redo the panel. This is the ink for it's rapidograph ink for that pen that I showed you guys for this. Yeah, this is the ink. This stuff's great. It's waterproof, so you can actually do watercolors over this ink. Where the Uniposcos, they don't really like it when you do the watercolors. I have the blood because I do a lot of the logos, or the red. It's for Blood Desert, the logo. These are Prismacolor pencils. I pretty much use these as grease pencils now. I only use the black ones. They're great. They do the kind of the smoky shading that they used to use. They're called China markers or grease pencils. I have a bunch of these. More different size Uniposcos. This is the fat one. Fat tip. And see, I think that's a 3M. And this is a 1M. So these are great for fill-ins, smaller fill-ins, not for giant ones because they tend to leave little streaks. That's what I use the ink and paint. I use matte acrylic paint for larger fill-ins, the inks. Here's the regular pencil, number 2 pencil when I need to dig out a number 2. Hey-oh. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, this is for just basic drawing. I don't tend to use those to sketch. I use these little fine pencils, click pencils. They wear out pretty quickly, so I have to buy the metal ones because I do so much drawing. These are the best. These are my favorite, but they're a little more expensive. They're full metal tip, full metal jacket. These are great. These are from Koh-i-Noor, I think. They're German. The Germans make some great art stuff. The Japanese do too. But this pencil, man, I've had for like 5 years and it still holds up. But the tips start to get bent on some of the cheaper ones, but nah, this thing, and it'll get squished. That's why I try to find. It's got to have a metal tip. I don't know if you can see it. It's tiny, but even though it's plastic here, this tip needs to be metal because then it'll hold up. This is the best because it's solid metal. These tips never get squished and they're really high strength. There's white for more corrections and for highlights. I use a lot of this white Uniposcos for highlights. I'll use a gray. I have another gray that I need to buy, but I use for grayscale stuff. This is watercolor for more blood splatter. These are the clicky erasers. I use these for detail erasing. I use the bigger ones for erasing the pages. See, these are great. These are a really good brand. Moo. Yeah, Nyana. I think these are Japanese. These are silicate things. So it's to keep everything dry in this little case. I swear by these, man. These silica packs, you find them in sneakers and different food things, and these are great, man. They keep everything from getting moist. And you don't want your moist drawing tools. Pencil sharpener. I like this one better than there's two types, and this one's my favorite. It's cool. It's heavy duty. It's a lot heavier. This is aluminum. It's kind of cheap. Where this one's great. It holds an edge much longer. These spin ones, and they're easier to spin. But yeah, and then leads. Here's the leads. I use HB. 2B is a little bit too dark when you push hard on it. I use the click pencils because I have a heavy hand, and the click pencils prevent that. A thimble in here. Top. When I get bored, spin it. This is a graphite pencil. It's a little thicker. Here's another Rapidograph. This is for real fine work that I do. But yeah, that's pretty much what's in the box. What's in the box? This is what's in the box. This is for shooting cheesy videos. I don't really use Micron. They're kind of trashy. These are really neat. These are, I think it's a graphite stick, but it's solid lead, like pencil lead. This is great for shading. I don't do a whole lot of shading with pencils, only because it's transient. It tends to smudge. That's why I use the oil-based Prismacolor markers, because these don't smudge like like a pencil would. So if I want a gray, light gray, and man, they look exactly like a grease marker. So it's pretty much all it is. But yeah, here's my brush. These are just some of the tools that I use to create comics. You gotta have a pair of scissors handy. I'll grab a couple other things real quick, so stay tuned. Then I've got there's this stuff too. These are the thicker brushes for larger fills. I have a whole bunch of brushes. I don't feel like going through right now. These are what I use on my watercolors for this. This is the color. I use these for that. So this is issue 38 that I'm working on. This is what I'm currently working on right now. There's a razor knife. I don't keep it in the toy box, the toolbox, because it stabs my hand. I have a carousel that I keep all this stuff in, because that's slightly dangerous. But yeah, these pump, and they pump the water. They hold the water. So, and then I don't have to worry about spilling. These are much better for fine detail work that I like. This one's cool because it comes out. So you get more water in these watercolor pens, the pink ones. Blue ones are great though. The problem with these is they don't have a very small fine tip. So most of them are pretty thick, so it's harder to do fine work. There's only like one good fine one, and I use that all the time. But yeah, these are great. These are so you get self-contained watercolors. I don't have to have a little dip like a jar. I do keep a rag around so I can clean it off for when I switch colors. But otherwise, these are just great for quick, fast watercolor work. That's what I do. All the red on this was done that way. This is my pencil sketches for a new story I'm working on. And so what I'll do is I'll sketch a really loose sketch, and then I'll line out with the ruler and the beveled ruler, and the fat Uni Posca marker. This is a white, but you get the gist. The fat one makes it so you can get these really nice solid lines. I'll white out all the extra, so I'm not too precise with it. But yeah, so I'll just get this initial story down, sketched out, and then lately, as I'm getting older, I'm not as good at just straight to ink, so I've had to really focus on these initial drawings more, just because I want a certain look and them to look better. So I make sure these sketch drawings are really honed in before I go to ink them, because I found that if I just try to wing it, then some of the stuff turns out kind of funky looking. See, this is one of those cut and paste. I'll do ads, fake ads in here. And this is like 5 different things that I just cut out and put together to make a fake little ad for Blood Desert. Broken and Alone, it's another story I'm doing. I don't want to give all this away. Let's see. See, here's some more. If I have I'll try and do all these lines first, get all this stuff, sorted out before I ink. So I'll go back through and almost erase a lot of this and then re-pencil most of it. So this is essentially like storyboarding. I storyboard it, then I do this lines. I do the borderline, and then then I'll go through and tighten the sketches up to see what I need to fix. And a lot of times I'll redo whole pages. So the initial page will be sketched out, like this will be sketched out, but I don't like the sequence. It doesn't work with the sketch, and I'll just redo the whole page. But this gives me a chance so that I'm not fully inking these pages and then not liking them and then having to redo a fully inked page. It kind of sucks. It's not fun. So this is why I'll do the sketching version first, like this. So then I can come and erase these. If I just don't like the way the story's flowing, I can redo these before it's completely solid with the inking process. So I'll reuse images from ash cans that I've done. You see, this is from an anthology, so I'll throw them in there. Each one of these, the Blood Desert main strips are 48 pages black and white with color and color covers. These are stickers I did. I figured I'd print them in here because they look cool. Just stuff like that. There's filler in here that I use. See, here's another watercolor. And then the back cover will be another watercolor. So because they're full color, the inside covers and the back covers. So yeah, that's what this is what the sketched version looks like. So like I said, I started with these rough sketches and then kind of worked my way into doing a full book. I have these boards because I don't have a drawing table. So I use these gesso boards because it's just more convenient to work in my easy chair. And that's what this is. That's what this brown board is. It's just another art board because they're made to take the ink better, so they kind of soak it up faster. This is a new comic I'm working on, so I'll divide the pages. This is for a mini comic. This is what a completed one looks like. This is 37. I don't want to show too much of this, but yeah, I just finished this bad boy last night. See, and that's where the shading comes in. See this kind of gray shading. That's how I get this. I use these for that, the pencils, the Prismacolor oil-based pencils. Those are great for when you don't want to do backgrounds. You just want to kind of phone it in. You can kind of do this cool shading effect, and I used to use it for the smoke in all the books. Sometimes I'll name the story. Sometimes I'll just go straight into it because it ended in the last issue. There's more of that watercolor work. Yeah, so this is a completed one. This is 37, and that was 38, the one that's not finished. I'm actually getting caught up. 30, 34, 35, and 36 are getting ready to go to the printer. Did I show the back cover? Here's the back cover. It's kind of a Looney Tunes. That's all, folks. And here's my Bible of mini comics, and you'll recognize some of these from the other video, the toilet video. These are the originals for all those for the Judge. They're a little more vibrant because the printer I use, I do ink conserving, so it doesn't. They don't look pretty much as good as the originals, but they're pretty close. But these are much more vibrant if you look at these. But yeah, this is all those same books. I try to keep them all in one. I love these binders because they're already kind of set. This is a larger one, but the other books are 48 pages. So I just fill up the binder, and then that issue's finished. I don't have to worry about chasing down, oh, where was page number 1 and number 2? And if I had these in stacks all over my house, it'd be a friggin' nightmare. So that's why I use these great binders. And the paper in them is acid-free. Here's the cryptid book. Different. These are the mini comics. You can see how they're formatted so I measure them half and half, and then I do the line, and that's how I get the sequence. Make sure you always put your cover on the right side, not the left. So I've done that a million times. Here's another. This is a micro comic. This is a super tiny comic book. These grid lines make it so I know where the placement will be when I go to print it, and I can cut it out and draw it in this grid. There's my garbage and trash, and I'm working on junk. That was the one you saw. That's just in its starting format. So yeah, this starts like this. See, I don't know if you can see it. See the logo, and then it'll have a line, and then I'll rough the interiors. This is really rough. I just started that. See, and then you can see this is the finished. So. And that's watercolor I use for the color. This is another micro comic. It's a Blood Desert micro comic. Micro comics are sadly an unutilized comic book format. This is a really cool way to get your stuff out there. You can leave them all over town, and people will find them, and they'll always disappear. People always take them home because it's such a little neat novelty item. This prints out to like something like about like that big. So this is each page. Each little square is a page in the book. Yeah, I love doing those, but they're for such little bit of work. They're very labor intensive because you have to measure all these out exactly. Like this line has to be measured out just right so that it works. There's Alien. I'm really into look and find. Like Where's Waldo? That's what junk is. Junk is Where's Waldo. Trash is as well. So can you find all this stupid stuff? And then you'll go through and you look for all that. That's they started kind of in the Alien. You look for all these little dudes. These are sticker sheets. So I keep all this in one book, so it's easy to access. I can just go right to it. Oh, I need stickers. I need flyers. This is my new flyer. Here's some World of Nonks books. This is a sticker card that folds over. I use this on my home printer. All these are printed from home. It's a great way. You find a nice little tank printer. I use a Brother Easy tank printer. I found a good one, so I've been keeping it. I've been using the crap out of it. Just getting as many copies as I can out of that. This is for the new flyers I did. This is mixed media. It's paint. It's Uniposca paint markers with watercolor. Yeah, so this is pretty much a crash course on how I make comics. You got any questions? Leave them in the comment sections. I'll be happy to help you out. I'm always happy to help people figure out how to do this stuff. Making traditional comics is great. You can kind of get everything done before you put on the computer. The only time I use computers, I use GIMP for like formatting stuff for print. So, but most of this stuff, all the kinks is worked out beforehand. All I have to do is scan it and clean them up in GIMP, make sure the files meet the printing specs of the printer I'm using. Otherwise, or whether it's a print-on-demand printer, you go on their website and you look up their print specs, and that's a way to find out, how you need to format these. This is magazine size, 8x11, so most of my stuff's done 8x11. Most of my mini comics are printed in-house in my flyers, so I just all format them at 8x11. I don't scan these. I just print them straight from the original. So yeah, what you see is what you get. You can correct mistakes. There's always whiteout. You don't need to you don't need to scan these and put them in a computer and then fix them in Photoshop. It's actually less work to do it this way. You just draw and print essentially. The formatting is hard on these smaller ones, but once you're done and once you get down the formatting capabilities, you can easily print your own comics. I use print on demand for my larger books. But yeah, this is pretty much how I make comics, the underground way. This is how they've been doing it for years, and nothing. You don't really need to change much. You don't need a tablet or a Wacom tab and Photoshop, because a lot of that stuff ends up looking similar to other stuff that's out on the market, and I want my stuff to look different. So that's why I try and use this method, the old traditional method of making comics, so that my stuff will stand out a little bit differently from what I see on the shelves. I want people to go up and go, oh, what's that? And then they'll grab it because it just looks different from what they see. It's not neon Photoshop, because it all looks the same once you use one tool. And since everyone's using the same tool over and over again, they're like tools. So the Photoshop is very limiting, because it's only going to give you this certain style and look that looks like everybody else. So if you want to try and do something a little different and develop your own style, use these traditional techniques, and you can. I think it's taken me a long way. I've gotten really far doing this just through doing this in-house style. Plus, you got originals you can sell later too. I keep all my originals in a big old box and sell them when I need to. So it's not as bad as people think. It's actually a better method, I feel, to make comics this way than the new way. Paper's a little more cumbersome, and usually the lens to it's harder to correct mistakes. But I feel like those mistakes actually make your books look, different from the other books. So yeah, but this is pretty much how I make comics, and I hope this video helps you guys, on your path to being a loser like me. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, here's how make comics the Yater way. Yeah, that's so I wanted to say, like I said, if you've got any questions, you need answers, or anything on the tools that I have, or any questions on what to do, maybe I'll do another video soon and show you actually how to draw and stuff. But I figure hopefully by now you kind of know how to draw, and you just want to make your comic, and that's why you click this video. So yeah, hit like, subscribe. Check out my website. It's where I sell all these comics, where I sell Blood Desert. Is the only place to get the full series right now is on blooddesert.bigcartel.com. And yeah, check out that site. I've got issues 1 through 33. They're in print, and I try and keep them all in best I can. And hit that like button, subscribe, and thanks for watching.